Welcome to The Reasonable Search, a channel dedicated to law enforcement with the purpose of critiquing police interactions with the public to educate and protect the rights of citizens. The commentary in this video is my own opinion and not representative of any police department or to be considered legal advice. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment. Thanks for watching. This video is out of Texas, and it's a court hearing where we hear a judge presiding over the arrest of a First Amendment auditor who was arrested for trespassing at the Social Security office. The auditor, Good Citizen News, was trespassed and asked to leave for violating the Code of Federal Regulation for Photography in Government Buildings. The entire court hearing is linked in the description. You will hear the judge weighing several issues: privacy rights of patrons of the Social Security office, and the newsworthiness of Good Citizen News. The video starts with the judge reviewing the Good Citizen News video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks for watching.
Does anything else happen?
I mean, it's a pretty long video.
Something else happened?
At this point, he hasn't, I don't believe he's been.
What is it? Okay, here we go. This is
Right.
interesting.
That's not their fault.
And so I believe at this point, he's already.
I can show you right here where it says I can.
Okay,
Right, and I think at this point, he's already past the point of corridors, foyer.
well, he was in a corridor. I think that we can stop it. I think that here's my concern. And I hate that the people on the Zoom call can't see it, because I do think light is the greatest antiseptic to any alleged government overreach. I'm not sure of the purpose of the news channel, such as it is. Everyone has a podcast. Everyone has a YouTube channel. Everyone is now a citizen journalist. And I see Mr. Lewis acting as one as well. I didn't see him go into any areas where it said there were signs saying no public access beyond this point. Whenever he came up to one of those signs, he stopped. I do not like him taking pictures of the workers behind the glass, but I don't think that where his physical person was, he was trespassing in that place.
The judge just watched quite a bit of Good Citizen News video of the events at the Social Security office and has no idea what his channel is about. On the surface, the judge doesn't see Good Citizen News as a news channel. He does see Good Citizen News acting in the capacity of news. Is that because he has a camera? Yeah. And we'll hear the judge give an interpretation of what a reasonable person would believe is journalism or newsworthiness. The judge also knows it's a slippery slope for the government to say what's newsworthy and what's not.
Would it have been better for his YouTube channel to say, look at all of these people in this lobby sitting and waiting to be seen by someone from Social Security, and look down this corridor at all of these empty desks where no one is working? That is, I think, of interest to the public, that it takes hours and hours and hours to get anything done. And it doesn't appear as though there's a whole lot of action going on. But there are people behind the glass who are apparently working. They're just not helping that we can see as citizens, customers.
Right.
That's newsworthy to me.
Here's the first issue. Is filming where business being conducted newsworthy? If the local news is doing a story on the Social Security office, filming employees working and patrons inside is not needed. They'll normally get B-roll of outside of the building and the sign. Good Citizen and First Amendment auditors have no stories until someone asks, why are you filming? Or tell them filming is not allowed in an area because policy prohibits it.
And it looks like he can record building entrances. We saw him there. The lobby where everybody was kind of sitting. He could have sat out there and recorded all day. Foyers, he passed through that between the outside glass and the inside glass. Corridors.
Right, Judge. I think it's prohibiting his entrance into the building. So saying that he can't record it in general. That's my understanding.
Renee's referring to this sign on the outside of the building, which states that it's federal law and Social Security Administration policy, and that says you can't do it without express written consent. So the federal law that is referring to would be what we're looking at right here, that if you're doing things for commercial purposes, you got to have written consent. And then the exception to all this is, except otherwise a rule, an order, a directive or whatever. It doesn't say anything about policy here. There's nothing in the rule that carves out an exception for First Amendment protection based on policy. It says rule, directive, court order, regulation.
Right, Judge, and I'm just getting that particular language from the Social Security Administration website itself.
No, I get it. Okay, I get it. Now I see where both sides are coming from. I think that the policy on the sign is in contradiction to the law on the books. And where the policy contradicts the law trumps. For section.
They will debate the spirit and letter of the law on CFR 102-74.420. Let's say whatever it is that Good Citizen does is news. Looking at section C, entrance, lobbies, foyers, corridors, I don't think that any reasonable person believes that business is conducted in any of these common areas of a building. Business is conducted in an office or waiting room. There is nothing in section C that allows news purposes to include filming employees in their offices because entering an office would cause you to leave the corridor, foyer, or lobby.
You want your privacy.
Exactly. And that, I believe, is what the spirit of the law is, Judge, is that.
Here's our problems, Mr. Serrato, me and you specifically. We're both rules followers.
Right.
You're a Navy guy, Army guy, Air Force brat. I was raised to follow rules. And that makes us good at bending to the will of authority that sometimes other people don't feel like they need to bend to, and they test the limits. And Mr. Lewis is testing the limits. And so I have to, as a judge, set aside my own nature of being a rules follower and actually follow the rules.
And in that spirit, Your Honor,
Right.
if we watch the video in its entirety, which is too long, you can hear Mr. Lewis several times stating on the video, he's quoting this exact rule. He's like, I'm in this location, it's for news purposes. And I know the summary that the state read talks a lot about being asked to leave and refusing, but a lot of those conversations are debating whether or not he can video there. And he just quotes, he's like, section C, I'm in this area, it's for news purposes, I can video here.
He can
Right.
video there. He can video there.
And there are other portions of the video, Judge, where he's also recording other people doing business at other stations.
I don't like those parts.
The second issue is the privacy of the individuals going to the Social Security office. Is there a reasonable expectation of privacy while conducting business at the Social Security office? I believe there is an expectation of privacy that a random person will not be filming around the area you're doing business in. These buildings are limited public fora, which First Amendment rights fall under time, place, and manner. For example, you can redress the government, but you can't picket through the lobby of the courthouse. You have the freedom of religion and assembly, but you can't have church in the waiting room of the DMV. Likewise, the press has limitations as well.
Take it to a grand jury and let them make a PC decision. So let's reset it for that. What's the waiting time to get in front of one of those guys?
You just need to make an appointment, Judge, so I'd have to ask them. It's a couple of weeks.
Let's give it a month. That gives plenty of time to get in front of them and see what they say. But I would encourage the preparation of a packet. I will appoint an investigator. I want to make sure that someone with a court order can go over there and do exactly what Mr. Lewis did, record it so they can see, you know what I mean? Without the defendant's other stuff involved. But it is.
Makes sense.
Let the people decide.
Well, there you have it. The judge, although on one hand thought Good Citizen News was within the law to film, but he did not rule on the probable cause of the arrest or dismiss the case. He opted to send this to the grand jury and let the people decide. There will be more cases and precedent either limiting or expanding the rights of these would-be journalists in the future. Thanks for watching. Like always, leave a comment, like, and subscribe.